What's up, guys? It's Absent. Now, this is a different kind of video that I'm usually used to making, but I think this is some stuff that really needs to be touched on. So, as we all know, these last Call of Duty titles have been, needless to say, bonfires. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I actually have some hope for this new one for some reason. And saying that brings a breath of fresh air and a sense of nostalgia, but it also brings fear of being let down yet again. So, with that being said, let's get into some things that we want to see. First up, let's talk about multiplayer. Multiplayer is arguably one of the biggest of the main three game modes in the game, including zombies and campaign. In my opinion, Warzone should be its own game from Call of Duty, but that's just another opinion. Anyways, class setups aren't even fun anymore. It has turned to a confusing family tree of different items and variants and store-bought bundles and even conversion kits of the same weapon. It all gets really confusing, especially I would guess for the new players, because you can't tell me that this is kind of just self-explanatory. Another thing to add is to get different attachments for your weapon, you have to use different weapons. To unlock this laser sight, I have to use the EBR and get it to level 10. How does that? I don't really know how that makes any sense. I really think the class setup is too cluttered. It's kind of bleh. I would love to see with this new Call of Duty, them bringing back the more, I guess, OG or simple class setup slash layout. I would really love to see in this next Call of Duty, them bringing back the more, I guess, OG or simple class setup layouts. Because even though Black Ops 3 wasn't really an OG Call of Duty, in my opinion, kinda did it the best off of the direction they're going with now. Everything's confusing and everywhere, but Black Ops 3 still has that normal class setup. Even though you've got some crazy things, but like it's just this layout is in my head is perfect. Everything is just so simple to get to. It's so minimalistic and easy. It makes you want to jump in the game faster instead of staying in the lobby for 20 minutes trying to figure out what you're actually trying to get your gun to be or do or whatever. All right, now this one might be a hot take. Another really fun addition to Call of Duty is the supply drops. And I know what you're thinking. No, why would you ever say that? But you can't lie, it was a really good small addition to the game. It was fun to work for. It was rewarding when you got something good. Even though you could get, let's say, the LV8 Basilisk or some crazy DLC weapon and it's just absolutely overpowered and you get melted with it every single game, I understand. Trust me, I do. The amount of fun I had personally with my friends just grinding to get the daily double or just something like that, playing all day to open a bunch of crates at the end of the night, like that was such a fun thing to do. We would grind for DLC weapons. Me personally, I really loved the fact that this was an addition to the game. I thought it was really fun. I would personally like to see this back again in a more simple way. In my opinion, Black Ops 3 is one of the best Call of Duties of all time. So I'm going to refer back to this game a lot because I think this game did it dang near perfect. Another thing I really think needs to be worked on is the map layouts. It seems like all of the new maps in the new game titles are built for pretty much like 12v12s. If I'm going to be honest, the game feel like they take forever. Everything is so spaced out. All the colors are dull. It's just all dark and gloomy and it puts you in kind of this bad mood almost. Like when I get off of work or get home from a long day at school, the last thing I want to do is be stuck playing a game that's brown and gray. Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3, those two games had so much color. And I will say, I will give Cold War props because it was a lot more colorful than I thought it would be. But then again, it's a Treyarch game, and Treyarch games like to add color, unlike Sledgehammer and Infinity Ward. I know those are small details, but it brings a whole lot of a change. Now let's talk about game flow. I know that might be a term that some people might not understand. When you're playing a Call of Duty and it kind of just feels stiff and it's like hard to move around because of the game mechanics, and it's also just kind of boring. It feels almost as if you're being forced to play the game, and nobody really wants to relax by doing that. I think multiplayer really needs to work on interesting and fun maps with character. Everything is just kind of, it feels recycled and forced. It just needs to have character. Kind of what I was saying about flow is when you play the game, you want to be able to have fun with it. Like in Black Ops 3, you can kind of just slide around. In Black Ops 2, I mean, it was a little more stiff because that's just how it was. But I mean, you could dolphin dive and stuff like that. But the way you ran, like you ran pretty fast. Everything just worked. It was fun. But in these newer Call of Duties, it's like, yes, you might be able to run fast. You might have tactical sprint. You having tactical sprint shouldn't be the reason why the maps are 48.5 acres long. It's not fun. It seems to get boring really fast. Hard to grind. I think it even makes for camo challenges to be kind of difficult. Also easy at the same time. I mean that as in, does take a lot to get your weapon gold, but not as much as the old games where it actually had like kind of harder tasks. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. I think you had to get more headshots in the older games. Long shots were kind of hard to get because you had to stay at a long distance. With the new Call of Duties, the maps are massive. Every other kill you're getting your long shots, so that's not really a difficult task to do. Getting gold in these newer games I've really found are kind of easy. I can't tell you how many guns I've actually gotten gold in these newer games that I haven't even tried to get gold. Be gold when I checked one day. Let's get into some zombies. And oh boy, do I have a lot to say. But I'm going to try to keep it short. Let's talk about zombies. Now, I'm not going to lie, zombies is my bread and butter. I play this game at least once a day. I have a massive spot in my heart for zombies. There is a lot that has changed over the years with zombies. Some of the changes I don't actually mind, but others are catastrophically bad. They're horrible changes. It makes the game not fun. It's just straight booty. When you hop into a zombies game, you shouldn't have to be overwhelmed with all of the different parts and things you need to buy grenades. I'm not really sure that was a change that needed to be done, but I mean, here we are. Spinning the box to get the monkey bombs and other sort of grenades or devices like the Gersh device and all kinds of stuff like that. That's what was normal. Now let's talk about the perk system. I believe perks were first introduced in, that one map that's kind of eerie. It's kind of like a hospital, but not really. Maybe like a little insane asylum. You could like flush the toilets and turn on a little blood shower. Yeah, that map. Verrückt. Verrückt introduced perks. And from that map and then on for a while, perks were pretty simple. You just kind of picked it up. You purchased it from the little vending machines. You drank it. Your character said a cool little voice line. And that was pretty much it. In Black Ops 4, they added this addition to the game where you could change around where your perks would go. One thing that I need to see return is round-based zombies. Now, I'm not sure if the devs of Call of Duty were kind of catering to new players by making an open world like zombies experience, but it sucks. It's not fun. It's too open. You pretty much mix zombies with campaign. Instead of an Easter egg and just surviving by rounds, you pretty much have to run across this massive world fighting these creatures and these zombies and doing simple campaign tasks. I mean, that's pretty much all it was. It wasn't fun. It got stale so quickly. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think I only played one game of any of those zombies maps that came out recently. Treyarch knows what they're good at. Let's be real. They can see where their success lies. And let me just tell you, it is not with whatever the heck they created recently. Could you imagine how many zombies players would come back to playing zombies if round based was a thing again? And there were actual good objectives and Easter eggs and stuff. Like, I don't want to get into a game of zombies and it tell me a bunch of directions. I want there to be an Easter egg. I mean, zombies doesn't have to be a complicated thing. Having a good storyline and maps to go along with it sets you in the mood and makes you ready to explore. Getting into a map where you're just an operator, a multiplayer operator, going into a zombies map, it's just survive. There's no character about it. There's nothing special. Who are you? Who's the person you're playing as? Do they have a backstory? Or are they just a nobody? Having good maps, obviously, is what everyone could ask for. And it's kind of just a simple and easy thing to say at this point because we've had so many bad maps. But you feel like Treyarch would look back and kind of see what everybody loved and make more maps like that. And this doesn't mean remaster maps or take parts from other maps and make a map like D Machine. I can't even begin to tell you how fun it was whenever Black Ops 3 launched and everyone were going crazy about Shadows of Evil and the Easter egg race on how to find it. It was a brand new map that nobody's seen before. It has a good layout. It has an awesome vibe, great music. It had great characters. In the intro cutscene, it even showed you kind of a little bit about the characters and who they were and what their personalities were like. It was just refreshing. If you want to make a game that everyone will play forever, add a workshop to it. I mean, Black Ops 3 just did it perfect. Again, I'm going to harp on Black Ops 3 because, I mean, clearly they did something right. The zombies is fun. The normal zombies is fun. Grinding the maps that came out with the game, grinding the DLC maps, all of that was so fun. And when you get bored of those and you kind of just want to goof off, guess what? You and your friends can load up a Roblox map just like this one and play it. Black Ops 3 has so much replayability, it is ridiculous. I have the most hours on Black Ops 3 than I do on any Call of Duty, and that's simply because of zombies. There's always something to do. There's always a new map. There's always something somebody's adding to the game, and it just makes you fall in love with it all over again, even years after it being relevant. The community on Black Ops 3 is truly unmatched. And if you don't believe me, go to the workshop on Steam on Black Ops 3 and just look how many maps have come out like this month. Look at how many different game modes and custom maps and all these different gun mods they're adding to the game. I mean, this game released in 2015, I believe. And in 2024, I pretty much still play it every day. Next, we have campaign. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm not really the biggest campaign person. I did used to be when I was younger. Pretty much multiplayer and zombies really have my attention. I've played some really fun missions. There's some missions of campaign that I will just never forget. Even as a kid, playing Modern Warfare 2 on my dad's computer. Some missions were so fun. Some missions scarred me. I never wanted to go into an airport again after playing No Russian. Not gonna lie. Going back and playing those older Call of Duties, all the campaigns were fun. They were simple. They really were super specific on what you need to do, who you need to take down. This is one area Black Ops 3 really lacked in. You have a hub to go back to. You have an armory. Like, there's no sense of, here's your weapon, go get into battle. You can kind of just do everything yourself, which can be fun in a certain aspect, but it kind of gives away the nostalgic feeling of take your gun and go into battle. Compare playtimes. There is a lot of things to pick from, especially because there were a lot of good Call of Duty games.